Canto 27. Summary. The canto opens with Dante hearing all heaven sing the Gloria Patri, which fills him with an intoxicating joy. The joy, however, soon turns to righteous indignation, coloring the heavens red, as Peter returns and pronounces judgment on his successors in Rome. The ensuing invective centers on the recent popes' greed and avarice, which have resulted in a lack of true spiritual leadership on earth. Nevertheless, he foresees a time coming soon when a leader will rise and bring aid to God's people. Peter closes by encouraging the pilgrim to not hide these judgments, but proclaim them when he returns to the world below. After this, all the souls return upward in what the poet describes as an inverted snowstorm, with all the flakes falling upward toward God, who will be revealed in the following cantos to be the true center of gravity. Beatrice tells Dante to look down again to see how far they have come in their orbit around the earth. When he can see no more due to the sun passing beneath his feet, he turns to look at Beatrice. Her smile is so radiant, so powerful, it propels the pilgrim out of the eighth sphere and into the ninth and final sphere, the prima mobile. This is the final, or first, depending on your perspective, sphere of the physical universe, the heaven inhabited by no physical bodies, like the spheres beneath it, but which rather gives motion to each of those spheres. This is the sphere first moved by the prime mover, and it exists in the mind of God. It is through this heaven that love of God and his power radiates downward through the entire cosmos, giving motion and meaning to everything that exists. After telling Dante where they are and what that means, Beatrice begins an invective of her own against all who have been corrupted and turned by greed, cupidity. And following Peter's prediction, she too says that help will come and turn the hearts of men back in the direction they should go. However, unlike Peter's, her prediction is couched with heavy irony in giving a specific time frame in which to expect this great turnabout. She says that when January is considered as spring and no longer part of winter due to the neglected 100th part, then these highest circles will shine down in such a way that the looked-for help will come. The meaning is this. In the Julian calendar, which was used until the middle of the 16th century, there was an excess every year of something close to the 100th part of a day. If this 100th part was not accounted for every year, over time that would mean a series of extra days would be added to the seasons, taking the whole January out of winter and placing it in spring. However, it would take several thousand years for that kind of excess to accrue. In essence, Beatrice is saying, before several thousand years have passed, this great looked-for event will happen and turn mankind around. In other words, the prediction has more to do with her own assessment of man's stubbornness than with any hope of real change. On this ironic note, the canto closes. Canto 27. Starry Sphere and Prima Mobile. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. Then began all paradise, their sweet song thrilling me. It seemed to me that I beheld the smile of the universe, and therefore the thrill was coming in through my ears and my eyes. O happiness! O ineffable joy! O life interwoven with love and peace! O riches secure and without yearning! Before my eyes the four splendors burned bright, and he who was the first to come began to make himself even more spirited, such that in his appearance he became what Jove would have become if he and Mars were birds and exchanged each other's feathers. The providence that there administers seasons and duty had imposed silence on every side of that blessed chorale, when I heard, "If I change my coloring, do not marvel, for while I am speaking, you will see all these change their color too. He that usurps on earth my place, that even now remains vacant, that is, in the sight of the Son of God, has made my graveyard a sewer of blood and stench, wherefore the evil one who fell from here above is there below appeased. With that color the cloud paints when the sun stands opposite at evening and morning, I then beheld all the heavens covered. And as an honest lady in herself secure makes herself timid by merely listening to another's foolishness, so Beatrice changed in her appearance. and I believe there was such an eclipse in heaven when the supreme might suffered. Then continued on his words with a voice so transformed from what it had been before, his changed appearance was not altered more. The bride of Christ was not raised from my blood, nor from that of Linus or of Cletus, to be in the business of gaining gold, but to gain this happy life. Both Sixtus and Pius, both Calixtus and Urban, after much weeping, scattered their own blood. It was not our wish that on the right side of our successors should sit a portion of Christ's people, the rest on the other, nor that the keys that were given to me should be made an emblem on the standard that then does battle against the baptized, nor that I should be the stamp on a seal for mendacious and crooked benefits, for which I often blush and am provoked. In the robes of shepherds rapacious wolves are seen from here above in all the fields. O defense of God, why do you lie down? The Cahorsines and Gascons make ready to drink our blood. O happy beginning, to what a vile ending you now must fall. But the high providence that defended the world's glory for Rome with Scipio will bring help soon, as I understand it. And you, son, for your mortal body's sake, will yet return below. Open your mouth, and do not hide what I have not concealed. As when the horns of the heavenly goat are touched by the sun, and our atmosphere draws flakes downward from the frozen vapors, so I saw the ether adorn itself, and from triumphant vapors draw flakes up, those who had made the sojourn there with us. My eyes were following their appearance, and did so till the space between, grown great, prevented them from passing further on. Wherefore my lady, who saw me released from gazing upward, said to me, "Cast down your eyes, behold how great an arc you've made." From the time I was gazing down before, I saw I had moved along the whole arc that makes the first climb, from middle to end. And I saw beyond Cadiz the mad pass of Ulysses, and on this side the shore where Europa became a sweet burden. And more would the place of this threshing floor have been shown to me, but the sun advanced beneath my feet, a sign, and more distant. My enamored mind, always speaking love to my lady, burned now more than ever to limit the scope of my sight to her. And if nature or art ever made bait to catch the eyes so as to catch the mind, whether in human flesh or in paintings, altogether they would seem as nothing to the divine delight that shone on me when I turned around to her smiling face. And the power that gaze granted to me pulled me out of Leda's beautiful nest and thrust me into the swiftest heaven. Its most lively and exalted portions are so uniform that I cannot say which Beatrice chose for my location, but she who was seeing my desire began smiling at me with so much happiness that God seemed to be the joy in her face. The nature of the cosmos, making still the center, moving all the others round, begins from this as from its starting place. This heaven here has not another where than in the mind of God, where burns the love that turns it, and the power it rains down. Both light and love contain it in one sphere, as this contains the others, and that ring is known by him alone who girts it round. Its motion can be recognized by none, but all the rest are measured by this one, as 10 is measured by its half and fifth. Thus how time holds in this clay pot its roots, and in the heavens further down its leaves, should now be clearly manifest to you. Cupidity, who drag the mortals down so far beneath you, none has power left to elevate his eyes above your waves. Indeed, the will of human beings will bloom, but rain continues ever to convert the real plum to spoiled and rotting fruit. Both faith and innocence are only found in little children. None the less, each one, before the cheeks are covered over, flees. A child, still stuttering, will keep the fast, but afterwards, with loosened tongue, devours whichever kind of food in any month. A child, still stuttering, that loves and heeds its mother, afterwards, when speech is whole, desires to see her buried in the ground. And so the snowy skin is turned to black when first appears the daughter, beautiful, of him who brings the morn and leaves the night. So that you marvel not at this, now think how on the earth to govern none is found, such that the human household goes astray. but prior to a January spring, through that neglected 100th part below, these highest of all circles will shine down, so that the long-awaited storm will turn the sterns around to where the prows had been, and then the fleet of ships will run aright, and after flowers real fruit will come.